Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Saturday on this channel. And on Saturday we just talk about something interesting. And today we're going to talk about Terrifier 3. I'm going to give you our non-spoiler review of Terrifier 3. And then we've got some interesting news about a new video game based on the Terrifier franchise. And finally, the actor himself said something very interesting about a role that he would love to play. So let's jump right into it. So I was just going to do a short video review of Terrifier 3, but then some interesting news came out today that I thought you guys might enjoy hearing about. So first we're going to start with our non-spoiler review of Terrifier 3. And then we're going to jump into some news about a new arcade game coming out using the Terrifier characters. And something interesting that the actor himself had to say about a part he wishes to have. So let's get into first this non-spoiler review. So Terrifier 3 takes everything and jumps it forward a few years. Things have gone haywire for our main character of Sienna, and we know this, we've seen this in the trailers. But she is definitely still haunted by the memories of Art the Clown. And could it be that Art the Clown isn't as dead as he seems to be? We know he's not. But no one really seems to believe it. Now, I had made a lot of predictions in terms of how I thought this movie would go in other videos, and some of them I was really wrong on, but a lot of what I said was kind of on point. We get a very broken Sienna in this movie. We get a Sienna who knows that she is not necessarily at the top of her game. And what we actually see happen is everything to escalate very quickly. This movie jumps from the supernatural stuff we saw at the ending to really embracing the supernatural this time. This one kind of tells you exactly what's up. They do answer quite a few questions in the movie concerning Art the Clown. They do kind of answer some things that you might want to know. They build on some lore in this movie, and it really does work. We do get a little bit of insight into Sienna's past, into her father, but we need more. And this movie is that stepping stone to us getting more. And that is what makes this movie good, is that it embraces all the craziness, all of the gory wonderfulness that we have expected from Art the Clown. And not only that, when I was hearing about this movie a few days ago from people that have seen it, I kept hearing that people were walking out. I kept hearing that people were vomiting in the movie. And that for me is a selling point. If I'm seeing that people are throwing up in the theaters or people are that terrified of a movie, I want to go and see if it lived up to its expectations. Now, this is Terrifier, and we know how gross it can actually be. And this movie exceeds our expectations. It really does. And that makes me more excited to see the movie anyway. That makes me want to see if the film lives up to all the expectations, if it really does live up to the fears that these people have. And this movie does live up to those expectations, and it sort of defies them a little bit. It steps past the boundaries that you don't think that it will step past. But this shouldn't actually be a surprise. We have seen in Terrifier 2 the little Pell girl, and the very fact that she exists also tells us that he might be killing children at the same time. But we don't actually ever get to see that. This movie, they don't leave a shadow of a doubt that the line has actually been crossed, and you are seeing what you think you just saw. And it is terrifying in that regard. Thus, Art the Clown lives up to his franchise's name. And you have to take everything from there and look at just how far they've gone and how much they're willing to break those rules. Because it's what makes this franchise different. The fact that they are seeing these lines and then directly stepping over them. And what's really messed up about this movie, though, is that I don't think it's quite as gory as some of the scenes we saw in part 2. And yet, it is going to be controversial. The way that he actually takes out people in this movie is something that is going to cause that controversy. It is going to be something people are going to continue to be terrified of. That's what makes this movie fun. That's what makes this movie crazy. That's what makes this movie interesting. So you definitely need to check out this movie. It really does deliver on the gore. Gorehounds will be absolutely thrilled at some of the gory goodness that is in this movie. And then not to mention, it also has a fair bit of drama. There is some drama in this movie that actually works. We get some character insight into Sienna that we didn't previously have, and it's wonderful. We get insight into so many of the characters that it definitely is worth watching. And if you're a fan of Art the Clown, you are going to enjoy this movie without a shadow of a doubt. So I actually give this movie 5 stars, and yes, I give it 5 stars because everything that was said about this movie, they delivered. And they kept me wanting more. I didn't want this movie to end. When it ended, I was disappointed. I wanted it to go on for longer. I actually wanted more Art the Clown right there. I did not want it to stop. And the fact that this movie takes place during Christmas means that by Christmas time, hopefully it's on streaming and I can make it part of my Christmas watch list as well. So I definitely think that you owe it to yourself to check this movie out. That being said, we're jumping into our next topic, and that is that Terrifier, the arcade game, is announced for PC, Nintendo Switch, PS5, and Xbox Series S. And this is according to IGN. According to IGN, it says, introducing Terrifier, the arcade game. The retro-based inspired pixel art beat-em-up based on Art the Clown's world from the Terrifier horror movies. In fact, you play as Art in this 4-player local co-op brawler with chiptune soundtrack. Terrifier, the arcade game, is published by Select2Play and developed by Relevo. It will be released in 2025 for Steam, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series S. The game goes full old school with its Sega Genesis era graphics and 6 different game modes and over-the-top violence. The developers describe the actions as such, with you playing as Art, who disrupts movie sets where films about his gruesome acts are being shot. Instead of letting the cameras capture the staged horror, Art brings his brand of terror, tearing through the hordes of policemen, firewomen, camera operators, stunt performers, makeup artists, and civilians. And yeah, those screenshots that I'm showing you there, they are kind of from what is claimed to be this video game. So it looks kind of old school, it looks kind of weird, and I'm down for it. It goes on to say that the Terrifier arcade game promises over-the-top finishing moves, boss battles at the end of each stage, power-ups, and weapons like chainsaws, cleavers, and more. Sign me up. That is definitely something that I think I would play. This looks like it is going to be a lot of fun. Now, that brings us to the last part of the story. David Howard Thornton, known for his role as Art the Clown in the Terrifier franchise, according to Games Radar, has said that he wants to play in the DCU. Now, who exactly does he want to play in the DCU? Well, it's simple. He wants to play the Prince of Clowns. He wants to play the Joker. And I actually would be down for this. I think that his performance as Art the Clown is wonderful, but I've also seen him be capable of doing other things. I think him doing the Joker would be something that might be a lot of fun to watch. Just picture the Prince of Clowns played by none other than one of the most terrifying clowns of our time. He definitely has the look to pull off being able to be menacing just by his face alone. He's got the skinny build that might be needed to play the Joker, and I could actually see him doing this. So the fact that he is wanting to do this excites me. Maybe it gets out there in the world. Maybe all of a sudden James Gunn catches on to this. The powers that be at DCU catch on to this. And we could have our very own Art the Clown style Joker. And I'm sure he wouldn't play it exactly like he plays Art the Clown, nor would I actually want him to. I would want him to add as much flavor to this new Joker as he could. You never want a Joker in the DCU that's going to copy everything that has been done before. The whole idea of an actor coming in to take over a role is that they make it their own. And he definitely has a style that is unique to him that I think he could also bring into the Joker performance. Sure, it would require him to talk because the Joker isn't the silent type, but I think that that could also make him more well known, if you will. Bring him into sort of the eyes of an audience that wouldn't even get to see him because they're too terrified to watch Terrifier. And maybe this actually brings people to look up some of his past performances, and maybe this brings people into being fans of his, and they actually do want to watch the Terrifier movies afterwards, thus getting Terrifier even more fans and making it more popular than it already is. If you ask me, this whole thing is really a win-win. If he would be able to convince the powers that be that he could play the Joker, I for one am sure he could pull it off. But that is where I am going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys think about any of this stuff. Have you seen Terrifier 3? And what did you think about it? Did you think that it delivered on the drama, on the lore of Art the Clown? Did you think that it added enough that you want to see what goes on in the future? Or are you sure that after this one it should be done? No matter what you think, I definitely want to hear what your opinion is on the Terrifier 3 movie. And keep it spoiler free for now as much as possible. And also, what do you think about this new Terrifier arcade game? Do you think that that sounds like a lot of fun? Are you excited to play it? And what system are you going to play it on when you do? Then last, I want to know what you think about the possibility of the actor David Howard Thornton wanting to play the Joker. Do you think that he has the acting chops to pull off the Joker? And do you think he would make a very menacing, likable, terrifying Joker? And how down for him playing the Joker are you? As always, we want to hear from you guys. So don't forget to leave a comment letting us know what you think about all the topics we talked about today. And then don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of the crazy conversations we had today. then make sure you hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we appreciate it. We are above 1,000 subscribers now, and that's amazing, and we want to keep that coming. So definitely hit that subscribe button. Miko says we need more subscribers, and you don't want to disappoint Miko. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then, friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.